Hi, and welcome to a live treat holder tutorial. Yeah, it's rare that I'm here of a morning, but you know what? Free shipping ends today with a $75 order. I thought I've got to get the news out. I didn't want to wait till this evening, and so here I am. And so what I have for you is no tricks, just the cutest treat holder. And using the Spooky Halloween Suite collection. And I'm going to show you another card I made using just the DSP, well, and some cardstock for the base, and then another treat holder. And so this suite collection is fabulous, and that is a Spooky Suite collection. All right, so let me start by introducing myself. I'm Shelly Godby, and for 24 years, I've been teaching you how to create hand-stamped smiles through my YouTube videos, my Stamping Smiles blog, and my mailing list. So let's take a look at the whole suite collection because it is fabulous. And not just the free shipping, because Stampin' Up! Let us know, which makes sense with the online exclusives that were released in July. And there's another bundle for the Halloween. This and this other bundle, that'll be it for the season. And that makes so much sense because the holiday catalog starts in September. And that just doesn't give you a lot of time to do your crafting. So by bringing this out now, it's urgent because I don't know this, but I'm thinking once things run out, I don't know they'll be replenished, right? Because we're getting closer and closer to that. So let me show you what all is in this sweet collection. And look at that. You could get free shipping if you order this by Friday, July 25th, 2025 in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. So we've got the Spooky Halloween bundle that after doing the 4 projects, I used every die and they are fabulous. And the Spooky Suite collection includes the bundle discount. Okay, so you save 10% on both the stamp set and the dies, or the stamp set and the punch, or however it may be, when you order a bundle. And the suite collection includes that bundle discount. So let me peel things away and show you. And then part of this, we have these foam, oh, there's a fancier name, Shimmer Star foam stickers, and they are foamy, which is really cool. And yeah, I've enjoyed these. And look at this gorgeous ribbon. It's on one of the treat holder I'll show you at the end. The Petunia Pop Iridescent 1/4 inch ribbon. All right. And then I just love these iridescent bags. Aren't those pretty? They just really are going to dress up our projects. And I thought this would be great for Christmas too. And you get 20 of these in the package. And all of this, of course, everything's available to order individually, but they're all in the suite collection to make it really easy for you to just pick up everything. All right, so I'm going to show you a card in just a minute. You get 2 sheets of these die cuts, and here's the paper that I'm using. You get 2 sheets of these die cuts, and I'll show you a card. The tags, and we'll be using one today, and then when I show you the other one at the end, another one. So these tags are already done for you. And on a card I'm going to show you in just a bit, look at these scenes that are already built for you. How cool is this? And then, boy, you can tell I like this paper. I've used a lot of it. That's really pretty. And I was looking, some of these will take you beyond Halloween, but very, very Halloween. And with the candy and these little guys, oh my goodness, so cute. And then look, all right, so let me put all this together. And look at that. How cool of a backdrop is this? All right. And so let me show you with the die cuts. Here's a card. Now, this was a sample Stampin' Up! Did, but seriously, this took me about a whole 5 minutes to make because this scene, this is that Petunia Pop paper I just showed you. And I put it on basic white, so then my inside is all set. And this is one of the scenes from the paper. And then I just popped out the die cuts, put them on, boom, done. And we could use Happy Halloween inside for, the greeting. But adorable. I mean, it took me longer to take the picture, edit it, and upload it than it did to make this. And just think of all the others you can do, because we've got all of these scenes. You get 2 sheets of all of these scenes. So you can just build some really cute cards in no time at all. All right. So one more thing to tell you about. Let's bring this back. Our bundle. I've got my dies stored on one of these magnet cards, and I picked these up at Stampin' Storage. And you know what? Now through Monday, July 28th, 20% off all magnet cards. And then they have their odds and ends sale and their while supplies last. And they're just all kinds of different sizes and colors, 30% off. But that you need to get over to my online or over using that QR code or the link under the video really quickly. And so, yeah, we love extra money. And then I store them in one of these storage pockets. And if you'll follow that QR code or the link, make sure you get pockets and not sleeves. Okay, and so talking about the Spooky Sweet collection and everything in it, it's not official. I'm just assuming they're while supplies last because they're so seasonal. But there is one more bundle, this Fright Night, and really cool because there's a spider web in there and some more tags. And so the expectation is this is it for the season. All right. And Halloween, just so much fun. I just love when the kids come to the house. And so the other evening, using the bundle and the DSP and those shimmer foam stars, I made this card for you. And because the haunted house, I just love haunted houses. Well, the Halloween ones that are supposed to be fun. Hey, Miss Patricia is here, and Miss Joyce from Massachusetts. Well, I'm so glad you all are joining me, and everyone else who hasn't said hello yet. But if you would be so kind as to give my video a thumbs up and a share, golly, I would appreciate that. So this card, it has some steps, but really easy. The only stamping we'll do is the greeting. We'll be using this awesome haunted house in the fence. So let's prepare for that as I set this aside. And so free shipping on orders of $75 or more only through Friday, July 25th, 2025. So what I have here is some basic black cardstock. And, to get the stamp and seal on there, I could do it, but you know what? Let's just use one of these adhesive sheets. And I cut it smaller than the piece that I have. And one thing I've learned, and always the hard way, right? Don't overlap them. And so by cutting it, the adhesive sheet, not quite as wide as my cardstock, it allows me to put them next to each other without overlapping them. Because overlapping them, then well, there I have a little bit. And you know what? And then a lot of times I'll have even more of a gap, and that is fine. We don't need everything perfectly adhesive. All right, so what I need to do is grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And here it is. This thing is so awesome. It does even detail cutting with one pass through. And I am going to use my magnetic platform. And, this time I could get away without it because I don't have to, I'm not centering anything around, a stamped image that I need it exact, but I just like it. It just helps keep everything in place. You see all those little circles? Those are the magnets. And so you could use plate number 1 and plate number 2, or, this doesn't make me a perfect die cutter, but it sure makes me a better one, which saves me time and cardstock. But more important is my time. All right, so what I have here is a cutting plate. Okay, let's come back. So, yeah, Halloween, huh? Before we know it. I mean, it's almost it's the end of July. I mean, come on, it's the 25th. All right, so this, we're going to put the adhesive down. And let me grab my dies that we'll be using. So I've got the fence that I just love. There we go. And then while I'm at it, we want a couple bats. And I have some This is really cool. You're gonna love this treat. It turned out so cute. Um, the haunted house. Well, it's in Petunia Pop. You know the rough edge. That's the cutting edge. Place that down. Okay, we've got that. And then I have here some Granny Apple Green, and these are all colors that are in the Spooky Sweet Designer Series paper. And we're going to use this tag. Cool, cool, cool. And we'll need to do one more little thing to die cut, and I'll show you that in just a second. All right, so then we finish with a cutting plate. You know, I could be like I am and always put that in the center, but you want to rotate these. Rotate them around. It helps them from getting warped. And looks like I have that on there really tight. Okay, there we go. And my plates last for a long, long time. So here we go. Yeah, a morning is not my usual. How cute is that? That pops up. We need this again. And I just felt this treat sample actually is why I end up with the sweet. It just tickled me to no end. And look how great that does. Everything just pops out. That's how good the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is. All right, so we've got a couple bats and our fence. And our fence, we turned that into a self-adhesive die cut. And let's go ahead and use those little poke out holes and gently pull that out. There we go. And I'll get that in just a bit. And oh, a little bit of adhesive on that bat, no harm at all. Okay, so this sample, they use this green tag, but the bat is black. So here's what we're going to do. We'll use this again. Let's get all this off of here. And my video's done uploading, and I'll do that this afternoon. I'll have a link to my blog post with it. I mean, when I'm done, it won't be HD yet, but I'll have a link to my blog post so you can get all of the measurements, because it just makes it so much easier when you have that. So I need this bat in black. And for me to try to do this, I wouldn't be able to see it. So you can put the rough side up, my cardstock on top, and then our cutting plate. Now I want to make sure I set it on there and not scoot it, because I don't want it to move. And I don't have another piece just in case. Okay, so that should be it for the die cutting. And we have our bat. There we go. Adorable, adorable, adorable. So all of this, we'll go ahead with the now retired paper snips. I'm gonna have to find something else for you, because I just love my paper snips. It's like, wait a minute, you can't do away with them. But well, they didn't. The company quit making them. And I've had these, well, I've been a demonstrator 24 years, at least 24 years, and have quite a few of them. So we'll just snip that away. There we go. So that is all of our elements, and right back on the magnet card, so I don't lose any of my precious dies. And so now, like I said, when I've used all of the dies, and that fence, that tickles me too. All right, so now let's do our greeting. And for that, and here's one of the tags I cut from the paper. We'll do our greeting, and I have some basic black cardstock. I'm going to put it against this so you can see better. And we're going to emboss the greeting, and which is no tricks, all treats. That's really cute on a treat bag, right? And on my basic black cardstock, so what I have here is the Embossing Additions Toolkit. It has everything you need, in addition to, of course, the embossing powder and ink, to be very successful at the heat embossing. This embossing buddy, Stampin' Up, came up with this a long time ago, and it's really cool. You run this over your cardstock, because ink sticks to what's wet. I mean, the embossing powder, and I'm using the Wild Basics embossing powder, sticks to what's wet. Well, not only is the Versamark ink wet, so is any oil in my fingers. And so this eliminates virtually all of it. And boy, does it ever show up on black cardstock with white if you've got it splattered all over the place. As I kept manhandling, I thought maybe I should do that again. All right, so now our Versamark pad. And this is a pigment ink, and it stays wet for a good long time. So it's ideal for embossing. And it's clear. So you won't see a whole lot of anything until I sprinkle on the embossing powder, because it's just a shade or two darker than our cardstock. And there we go. I love the photopolymers. I can see right where I'm stamping. The photopolymer stamps are the clear rubber. And I have this mounted on a clear block H. So comfortable to hang on to with the grooves in there, and they're polished and rounded. All right, so this is probably my favorite part of all of this. Well, I'm used to the embossing buddy, right? Because we had that forever. Haven't had this as long as the embossing buddy, but the tweezers, because for me to try to hang on to this with the heat gun, oh my goodness, our fingers would get so toasty. Well, they came out with these tweezers, and so the tip is plastic, and so nice and strong where I'm squeezing, but the plastic won't radiate the heat all the way up here. And my other favorite part of this, look at that. So you squeeze and let go, and I don't have to have a death grip on it. These are just awesome. All part of the toolkit. And then we'll sprinkle our embossing powder on it right in the tray, and then you'll funnel it back in. That comes off into your jar. And so you don't waste embossing powder. So this is the white. It's part of the Basics Wow embossing powder. And everything I'm using is listed on the video if you're watching on YouTube or my blog, and available to order in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. Okay, so I don't need to have it on there quite yet. That's the tray, I don't keep pouring it on. I just say I want to make several. I just keep coming back to the tray, and then I pounce it, and there's the embossing buddy's good, not perfect. All right, so now we've got this. Another thing, if you haven't embossed before, move this out of your way. You don't want to be blowing that all over. Yeah, done that. All right, so let me set this aside. And then I have my heat tool. And the heat tool, fabulous. It's very natural, and I'm sure I asked the same question. Could I just use my hair dryer? No. Your hair dryer does not get as hot as this. Yeah, don't use this on your hair. If your hair dryer goes out, it is very intense heat. And it has two settings. The first one is to say dry your ink. So if you're stamping with a pigment ink such as this, and you want to dry so you can move on, you can use that first setting. The second setting will melt the embossing powder. And as soon as you see it melt, it takes a little bit to heat up, but once it does, it goes quickly. It gets a lot more opaque. And that second one I made to show you at the end, I kept, I'm usually telling you, don't overheat it. Yeah, I overheated it, and it started getting all speckly on me. I thought, well, Shelly, you tell them not to do that. And then you do. All right, so we have all of our elements. We have our tag. We have our house. We have our fence. Bats. Okay. And so the house, I didn't think to do this on mine, but it's okay because I think it'll make it more stunning. Where's the card I made the other day? Yeah, I just did the house. And for this one, we'll put some Daffodil Delight behind it. Oh, it is oh so delightful. Like, oh, that just makes it. All right, so what I have here is some Stampin' Seal. And I'll put the adhesive right on the house. I just need to get this to stick on there for me. Okay, a little bit more down here. And so if you're just joining us, please give my video a thumbs up and a share and, come over and say hello. Just got the sweetest stampers ever. All right, so that's a little, but that's okay. Back with my paper snips, anything that hangs out. And I didn't catch the piece up on top. And of course, you'd think, well, why don't I just die cut another haunted house? Well, I'd have all those little pieces. It'd be the same thing. And it's sure a lot easier to do this than to try to glue in all those little pieces. And I like that it's behind. All right, so let's do this. Got some more. Let's get it onto this piece. There we go. Some more Daffodil Delight cardstock. And just trim that. So from behind, not so lovely. Hey, Miss Renee. Miss Renee comments on my videos a lot, and doesn't that just totally change the whole thing? This makes it so cool. All right, so we've got our elements, and then we can go ahead and start peeling this off, that backing, because this is now a self-adhesive die cut. And that card I showed you at the beginning, it was fun building a scene with all those die cuts. It's just so flexible, where you can hand stamp and color and, mix it all together or just use all the die cuts. This is really fun. Okay. All right, there we go. So now we need to fill I've got my treat bag. Well, before I do that, we've got our topper, and our topper is, how cute is this? I just love this paper, and I used it on the first card. I just can't, it's just so cute. This looks like Halloween to me. All right, so what I need to do though is score it, and I have here my paper trimmer, and we've got two blades. That dark blade, that's the cutting blade. Let's move that out of the way. And then I have my scoring blade, and what the scoring blade will do, it will put a crease in the cardstock so I can get a fold without it getting crinkly, because without it, it's not pretty. Oh, okay, Miss Renee has the sweet. So this, I want to score in half, so it's 4 inches. So I want to score this at 2, right in half, and I'll run this over it. Now, to tell you how hard to do it, I don't apply a lot of pressure naturally, so, play with that, maybe some scrap paper first, but see that crease? Now I get that really good fold. That paper trimmer, because your handmade cards, you want to make sure you're scoring them first. And I know my bone folder is out here because I got it. There it is, just a little hidden. All right, so let's get a good crisp fold on this. And one of my treat bags and some candy. My girlfriend said, M&Ms. I'm like, yeah, but I don't do sugar and I don't want to be tempted with M&Ms. So nope, we just got some other, and in rat, because it's not Halloween yet, right? And other than M&Ms, I looked at a bunch of different things. I thought, ooh, those could, what am I trying to think? Not spoil, but can't think of the right word. What am I trying to think of? Harden, whatever. Stale. Stale's the word. Okay. But the iridescent bags just make that look cool anyway. So tear and tape adhesive, my new best friend. Love this. So let's do this. Let's put a piece right here. We'll fold it over. We don't want the topper to have to do all the work. Boy, I like these bags. And I really think, these will be good for Thanksgiving if you do treats for Thanksgiving. But definitely, Halloween and Christmas are treat time. And let's leave something to hook to. But now that's got a good hold, and some more tear and tape along both. When I was a new demonstrator, I remember one time I only did the one side. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, oh yeah, two sides. But look how easy that is. It just literally tears off. And it's super strong. You use this to put boxes together and all that. And what I discovered the other day, well, actually a friend did, great for the embossing, embossed cardstock, because we need something to stick to. And we'll set this on here. It's been a good while since I've made a treat holder, and I did enjoy myself. So it's already looking pretty sharp, but wait until we put it all together. Oh my goodness. All right. So we've got this, and there's a score line right there. There's a score line. So let's fold along that score line. There we go. Because I wasn't quite sure how I would use this. And then with this sample, I went, boy, a bone folder, must have. It is just a must have if you don't have one yet. You just have your basic supplies that everybody needs. Okay, so then we have, remember this one we cut out? Because we want the bat to be black to go with our other one. Or you could use a mini glue dot. There he is. That looks really cool, doesn't it? Okay, and so this goes on here. So what we need to do, and it's not quite in half, but that's okay. Now let's stick with the tear and tape adhesive at this point, so everything sticks together really well, because these get handled more than a card. And let's start with the front. Let's not peel off the back yet, because the placement is important. Okay, there we go. And I can press against the back. Placement. Okay. And then I've got my tag. And I need to see, okay, about how far down I'm coming, but it has to catch at the top. There we go. And then we'll secure it on the back. And you could put some more adhesive behind the tag. I didn't, so it could free flow like a tag. Okay. Oh. All right, so about right there. All right, isn't that? It's already just adorable as all get out. So now we get to do the house and finish building all of this, because we're almost done. Super easy. And what I like about this treat, there are a whole lot of tags. I mean, you can make a slew of these. Of course, you get the assembly line thing going, and it already has splatter on there. Okay, let me come in a little closer. I was out further for, so you could see the whole suite collection. There we go. And our house. Cute, cute, cute. Our fence already has the adhesive all over that. And here we go. Down to the bottom of the tag. Isn't that super sweet when it's just the adhesive's already there for you? And our greeting, let's do some tear and tape on this end, because it's sticking up a little bit. And hopefully I did the right end. Oh, I did not. Okay. It'll be all right. As I put it down, I thought, you should have flipped it over and double checked yourself. So again, if you're just joining us, please give my video a thumbs up and a share. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps my business, which, that's why I'm doing this. I love what I do, but this is my business, and it has been for 24 years, and what a fabulous job I have. You know what? That will be fine if it stays right on there anyway. And yeah, best job ever. I love the flexibility that I get to be home. We might as well take that off. There we go. That was from the adhesive sheets. Those are awesome. They come in 6x12. And this particular sample didn't use the foam stars, the shimmer foam stars, but you sure could. And there we go. How stinking cute is this? But the Daffodil Delight behind there just made it. Okay, I'm slipping a little bit. Hey, Miss Debbie. Well, I'm from Michigan too, Miss Debbie. So a fellow Michigander. Isn't that a funny name? Michigander. And there we go. And so as you start building up, so I'm recommending, even though I designed this, that would have been really cool with yellow behind it. And then those die cuts in there. And are you ready for the other one? So cute. The other treat holder. Um, there we go. Another one of the tags. Spooky is from the stamp set. All right, and the embossing that we just did. Die cut. This is on the tag. And those foam stars. Oops, I managed to lose one. There should be one down here. And then that gorgeous ribbon. And these iridescent treat bags are just so sweet. I just love them. So it's time to get ready for Halloween, and what better time when you can grab free shipping. And on orders of $75 or more, before tax and after any Stampin' Rewards that you apply. And the magnet card sale, 20% off. Or if there's some odds and ends you like, 30% off. But those are while supplies last. And the magnet card sale goes through Monday, February 28th. I'm just geeking out. I love when the kids come, and this will be so fun to give away. It's like, oh. And I will post everything to make this. I will do a separate blog post with this either this weekend or early next week. So you'll be able to, and my blog is stampingsmiles.com. It's right there. So you can go over there and check that out. And hopefully by 1 o'clock, I will have everything uploaded with all the measurements and the supplies to make it easy for you to make this treat holder. So both of these were samples that Stampin' Up! Provided, but they were so cute. I just couldn't resist them. So there we go. And unusual for me, I don't do a lot of 3D, but these just had to be done. And how fun on a Friday morning. So, all right, let's do this. You are not a chatty bunch today, but just in case, I'll put this up here as I finish my morning live 3D tutorial with a Halloween treat holder that is just the cutest. This bundle is adorable. And as I said, all the supplies, including the bundle and the suite collection, are available to order at my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. I don't see any new questions or comments. And Miss Adelaide, she's always here, so must not have been a good time for her. But it was good seeing some new faces. I enjoyed that too, as well as some regulars. So I am here. Oh, let's do that. I am here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with a card making tutorial. And so make sure you hit that subscribe button, and you'll get notified when I'm getting ready to go live or I upload a video. And on YouTube and Facebook, Facebook gives you a notification too. And so, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next Tuesday at 7, this coming Tuesday. Next is a weird thing. Some people think maybe I mean the following week. But every Tuesday, so far without fail for 2 years, I've enjoyed spending my Tuesday evenings with you with a fresh new card idea. All right, so it is that time. Can you believe it? This was so cute. Um, Thank you again for joining me. I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Good afternoon, almost, and